You guys are watching NFL Daily. I am Tom Downey, and whether you like it or not, the Lamar Jackson rumors are not going to be going away anytime soon. The Ravens have said they want to pay Lamar and that, hey, we're going to keep him involved in the offensive coordinator search. Then reports come out and say, hey, there isn't as much interest. There wasn't as much conversation as maybe the Ravens made it seem like it was going to be. There are issues with his contract, as we'll get into here in a little bit, but his trade value would be high. And the thing I think the Ravens cannot do is do nothing, because at that point, your decision kind of ends up getting made for you. You have to either pay him or don't pay him. I am of the mindset I'd pay the man, but if you're not going to give him that borderline fully guaranteed deal like he wants, somebody will. Maximize your asset as a roster-building team. Lamar's numbers the past 2 years have not been the normal Lamar Jackson numbers, certainly not the MVP caliber season that he did put up, but remember, there are not very many MVP quarterbacks who are available via trade, especially one who is as young as Lamar Jackson. The injury concerns are valid. He's missed time the past 2 years, although I would also point out that most of this came from within the pocket. The running ability, I think, is very valuable in the modern-day NFL. Depending on how you rank Lamar, he's somewhere in the top 10 of quarterbacks. So the majority of NFL teams would be better with Lamar. I would also say that the Ravens are much better with Lamar, and maybe they shouldn't try to move on from him at this point. If they were, I do think there is a trade example that we've seen that brings about pretty proper value. That was the Deshaun Watson trade. Remember, Watson, who has not done anything that Lamar has done in the NFL, Lamar's better than Deshaun Watson is. He's proven more. He's been more productive, frankly. I mean, Deshaun was bad this year for Cleveland, if we're being honest. Deshaun's netted 3 first-round picks, a third and a fourth, and, oh, by the way, also got a record-setting contract. And that Deshaun Watson trade and the contract he got is a big issue in the Ravens and Lamar Jackson contract negotiations. Deshaun got $46 million per year. That's now 4th among all NFL quarterbacks and probably won't be number 5 by the time Herbert and Burrow, etc. all get paid. But Deshaun got a fully guaranteed contract, significantly more guaranteed money than any other quarterback has gotten at the time or has gotten since then. That is a significant problem in the Lamar Jackson contract conversations. There are teams out there who I think would do that fully guaranteed deal, or at least more guaranteed than the Ravens were allegedly offering in the $130 million range, which is frankly way too low. So with all that in mind, what is the % chance the Ravens trade away Lamar Jackson? I don't think it's 0. I think it's still less likely. Maybe we're in the 30 percentile range here, which I want to hear from you guys. The pinned comments on today's video. % chance the Ravens trade Lamar Jackson. The ad break comes on YouTube. Take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Now we're going to break down the top 10 Lamar Jackson trade destinations. We're going to go from number 10 to number 1 because that's way more entertaining. At number 10, I've got the Miami Dolphins. This would have been higher a year ago, but there is just general uncertainty around Tua. Dolphins, at this point, they're going to ride with him for another year amid the concussion concerns, which also, by the way, significantly brings down his potential trade value with no first-round pick this year. It's very difficult to imagine a path this offseason in which Lamar Jackson ends up with the Miami Dolphins in a trade. Miami doesn't have the assets to acquire a quarterback of Jackson's caliber. We got 9 more teams to get to, and there's about 20 that would find an upgrade if they were to trade for Lamar, so always remember that too. Prediction time then for you guys. Where will Lamar play this upcoming season? Ravens, still a very real answer, but focus on the trade side, so you can put this one here for the Ravens. Where will Lamar play this upcoming season? Number 9, and I'll kind of group number 9 and number 10 together because that's the Seattle Seahawks and the Detroit Lions. These two teams fit a similar archetype of they have a veteran quarterback in place right now. They have the draft assets, multiple first-round picks to ship off in exchange for Lamar Jackson, and that team would be much better with him. And in particular, I'm really intrigued by the Lions fit. of that team has a great offensive line, ground game. They're adding some more playmakers. Lamar in Detroit, that team becomes the NFC North favorite. When was the last time we said favorite and Lions in the same sentence that didn't involve first-round pick or first overall pick? That's been a long time. I doubt it happens, but that'd be a lot of fun for the Detroit Lions. Today's NFL Daily is sponsored by Cultivate, the free browser extension that brings transparency to your Amazon shopping experience. Cultivate shows you the brand, seller, or product origin and identifies local alternatives that support local community efforts while saving you money. With over 50% of Amazon U.S. sellers based in China, Cultivate offers a way to avoid trickery from these sellers and keep money in the U.S. economy. Cultivate offers alternatives that are on average 30% less expensive than Amazon without any additional costs such as Amazon Prime. It can even identify local alternatives that you can pick up the same day. Cultivate users earn free donations as rewards using the extension, and the more you use it, the more you earn in donations by increasing your level. In fact, Cultivate donates 51% of the revenue they make from your purchase. So what are you waiting for? Go to wecultivate.us/chatsports and download Cultivate for free. Let Cultivate bring transparency, savings, and community support to your Amazon shopping journey. Support the show. Download with our link. It's in the comments and the description of today's video. It's wecultivate.us/chatsports. Number 7, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, lower on this list because although they could make the money work, by the way, don't let anyone tell you they don't have the money available. They can make it happen. They absolutely can for a player of Lamar's caliber, even if that means, cutting a player here or two there. But I do think Tampa's going to do a little bit of a mini reset here. Hopefully not just give Kyle Trask the job, but I think Tampa will take a less aggressive approach than they've been in recent years. The Jets are number 6, in large part because I think the Ravens, if they were going to trade Lamar, would prefer NFC team, and the Jets seem very committed to exploring at least the Aaron Rodgers conversation. But the Jets with Lamar Jackson would be awesome. Now, I don't know what you do in the end with Zach Wilson, but at that point it's kind of a sunk cost and you move on. Jets are a little bit lower in the draft order than some of the teams further up on this list, but if you're New York, you could acquire Lamar Jackson. I think you have to be calling and exploring that particular option. Number 5, the Las Vegas Raiders. There are some issues here beyond, you get the better quarterback, the best quarterback you've had in a very, very, very long time for the Raiders. I think a Lamar and Devontae Adams combination would be electric. Plus Josh Jacobs in the backfield. That's a very potent offense that gives no excuses for Josh McDaniels. They, of course, have already cut Derek Carr. The one big issue I have here is, do the Raiders want that type of massive, in theory, fully guaranteed contract for an owner who allegedly is more cash poor? With the way contracts work, any guaranteed money, you have to put aside in a trust for to actually make it happen. So you got to have that $200 million just set aside. It's a lot of money for an owner in Mark Davis who might not have that type of cash available, although you make it work, I think, in the end, if you really want to go get Lamar Jackson. Now, we have 3 NFL videos, not just every single day, but multiple times per day. We've got you covered: news, rumors, trades, and, of course, the NFL Draft. If you want that type of coverage all for free, you've come to the right spot. Hit that sub button today. It's youtube.com/chatsportstv. Don't miss out. The top 4 teams, by the way, all NFC teams, because there is a lack, comparatively, of quarterback talent in the NFC. You take the New York Football Giants. Daniel Jones is a free agent. You take Daniel Jones, you hit the upgrade button like 8 times, and you end up with Lamar Jackson. And Lamar with the New York Giants, I think they would be among the favorites to win the whole NFC. That NFC becomes loaded then with especially the Packers move on from Aaron Rodgers, the 3 best quarterbacks in the division would be in the NFC, which is kind of wild to think about there. The Brian Daboll, Mike Kafka combo have shown they can use quarterback runs in the offense. They get a better version of Daniel Jones, a souped-up one in Lamar Jackson. That team can make a lot of noise, and The Jones wants 20 or 45 million a year, even if he settles for 32. It's not that much more to pay Lamar. That's worth it if you are the New York Giants. Every time we do these destinations for quarterbacks, I like to ask this question. I'm always very curious. Among all the NFL quarterbacks, where does Lamar Jackson rank? He's not in that upper echelon of like the Mahomes, Burrow, etc. tiers, but that second grouping, or maybe the third grouping, put Mahomes in his own tier, Lamar is among the best in that group. So that's like 5, 6, 7. If he's below 10 for you, I'm not really sure we're on the same page with Lamar. So this is your chance to sound off. Rank Lamar among all the NFL QBs in the comments section right now. Number 3, and I wish they were higher from their own perspective. I think the Commanders, even though there is some upcoming ownership change most likely, I think they should be all in for a quarterback of a Lamar caliber. Like Sam Howell looked fine in his one start, but now you're banking on a 5th-round pick. Carson Wentz is going to get cut. Those savings can go directly to Lamar Jackson. You add Lamar to the Commanders, just like the Giants with that defense, a good supporting cast for the most part. That is a clear-cut NFC favorite. Maybe not the favorite in a tough division, but you add Lamar, that Commanders team is much more viable than it is right now. Number 2, the Carolina Panthers. I know there are Matt Golden Corral truthers out there, but let's be honest. We shouldn't expect that much from him in the long term. It's a 3rd-round pick after all. The only quarterback under contract is Corral right now. That does not include Sam Darnold. He's a free agent. You put Lamar Jackson on this Panthers team as well as they played down the stretch. They are the NFC South favorites. After all, the best quarterback right now is Desmond Ridder? That's not great when it's all said and done there. And you can put the Saints even on this list if you wanted to. Almost every NFC South team would be on here, but we're not going to put all of them on there. Plus the Saints are, they've probably spent enough money at this point here. The number one overall pick, by the way, makes for a good trade asset. NFC South, lacking all quarterback talent. That's why, as has been rumored for a while now, the number 1 team, the Atlanta Falcons. Sorry, Saints fans. I know there are some Falcons fans who don't want Lamar because they want to see what Desmond Ridder can be, and I get that, and there's so much to pay. You add Lamar Jackson, who is a wonderful fit for what the Falcons want to do on offense. Are they a team that can run the football, can use quarterback runs? You give him Drake London and Kyle Pitts. You're going to make Pitts into the new Mark Andrews just like that. You add London, who is better, I think, than the other Ravens receivers. This team immediately becomes the NFC South favorites. Just like that. They have, if not the best, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFC. If I were the Falcons, I am the team that's constantly hitting up the Ravens. Hey, any updates on Lamar? Is that going to happen? You want to trade him or not? Like, that's a fit I think would be awesome for Atlanta. And if I were the Ravens, I still would not trade away Lamar Jackson. So one more time, the top 10, Falcons, Panthers, Commanders, Giants, Raiders, Jets, Bucks, Lions, Seahawks, and Dolphins. Other teams, the Colts, the Saints, even the Texans in there could certainly make sense, but I wanted to whittle it down at least a little bit.